Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And in today's episode, the topic is, should Kawhi Leonard be blamed if the Clippers don't win it all? So that's the topic I'm going to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to the people that signed up to the Dreamerspro Max community. We really appreciate that. Thank you guys for signing up. If you guys haven't signed up already, make sure you go ahead and check that out. It's in the link in the description below. We're going to be going live tonight during the Boston Celtics and Clippers game. So we're going to be chatting live during that game so we can vent and just let our feelings out. So that's going to be happening tonight. We're going to let you guys know there. So if you want to be a part of that game, make sure you sign up so we can all get in on that game tonight. So anyway, let me get into this video here. Yesterday we had some technical difficulties. We were supposed to publish 3 videos, but we had some technical difficulties. We could only get 1 video out. So today we got to make up a lot of ground. So we have a lot of content coming out today. So I want you guys to just be kind of like just be checking the channel periodically to make sure you catch all the content that we have coming out. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. So all of y'all know that, listen, Kawhi is my favorite guy, my favorite player in the NBA. There's no secret about that. I made that pretty clear. Because of Kobe, the connection between Kobe, I think it was very easy for me to sort of gravitate to the guy quite easily. Listen, I think the guy's been having an MVP season, caliber season. If you go and look at his numbers, I don't think anybody can deny that. Anyone with a straight face can't deny that, listen, this guy's having an MVP caliber season. Excuse me. He's averaging 27 points per game, which is pretty much almost virtually what he averaged last season. Shooting 4 percentage points higher from the field at 51%. Shooting 39% from the 3, 87% from the free throw line, getting you 6.3 rebounds, basic 5 assists per game, and 1.6 steals. His team currently is the number 3 seed, in the Western Conference. So listen, the Clippers have had they're having a solid season right now. They've had some ups and downs, but they still have a top record in the NBA. I think they have the 3rd or 4th best. I'm not sure. I think probably the 3rd best record in the NBA, if I'm not mistaken. I know that I've said it over and over and over again that, listen, the guy is being overlooked by the media consistently. They will call anybody's name. Next thing you know, they're going to call the janitor as one of the candidates for regular season MVP before they call Kawhi. I've lamented that. I've also spoke to the fact that, listen, I think the media is a bit. I think the media does an amazing job of creating narratives around people. They do a crafty job of doing this. Listen, all of this is quite, I don't think any of this is left to chance. It's like going to watch a good movie and you're like, wow, this is great. Everything you see in a movie, anything on the table, it's all planned out, it's all thought out. They don't leave anything to chance at that level. And I think that, as I've said it before, and I'll say it again, listen, the media is quite predictable, right? Because, listen, Clippers would be some pretty good teams this season, Jazz and others. You don't really hear much about it. Whenever they lose to a pretty good team, like the Milwaukee Bucks, it becomes front page news. Shannon Sharp and this, where all these guys were saying this yesterday. Oh, Paul George needs to be quiet. First of all, the Paul George thing, let me just say this quickly. Paul George is not walking into because I watched the post game interviews. Paul George isn't walking to these post game interviews and start saying the referees played me, man. They didn't do this. No, that's not what happens. What happens is that I've been watching it. These reporters are very crafty. What they do is they'll say, "Hey, Paul, what did you think about the fact that you guys haven't been getting any free throws? You guys as a team only have 7 free throws attempts for the game." Then Paul George, who is not, let me say, as savvy as he ought to be probably with the media and crafty, he just answers the question. He goes, well, I just think it's weird that we didn't get, that's what he says. Then what the media does is they put it out and say Paul George was complaining about the refereeing. That's what they do. Let's just be honest. Now, people that don't know the backstory obviously go, yeah, he's always complaining. And I get it, because Paul George seems to be, listen, he's the last guy you want to hear complain or just say, people just want to hear him say, man, don't worry about it. It's fine, right? Like, it's fine. And to a certain extent, I understand that because he's the punching bag for the Clippers. He's the punching bag. The whole thing about Kawhi, though, about people saying stuff about Kawhi, I think dudes are bugging. Like, you can say whatever you want about Paul George. Kawhi is going to go into the Hall of Fame. Whether you like it or not, he's going to go into the Hall of Fame. That's the part that some people need to come to terms with. Whether you like it or not, you're not going to get an eraser and just go out and erase his legacy. It's not going to happen. But I've noticed that. Yesterday, Shannon Sharp, I noticed it. It's part of me. It's what they do. It's what they do, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's part of the course. Some people can say, listen, I come at other guys too much, or you can talk about Skip Bayless going at LeBron James every chance that he gets. So listen, it's par for the course, and it's just what happens. But listen, it's time to face reality. Okay, it's time to face reality. Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers need to get it done. I think it's that clear. For a number of reasons. Kawhi Leonard left a championship team in the Toronto Raptors to come join the Los Angeles Clippers. He left the team that had just won a title. Now, according to my understanding, there were two reasons why he left. Number one, I think he wanted to be back in LA for the weather. I spoke about this a long time ago that for me personally, weather is not something that moves me as far as if I'm considering a place to live. That's not one of the major things. I'm talking about me now. It's not one of the things I'm looking for. It is, I think the weather is something I would look at if I was kind of at a tail end or a later stage in my career. Like if let's say if I'm a business owner and I'm 50 years old, I'm 20 years in, I have $50 million, or I have a business making me $3, $4, $5 million a year, right? It's running on its own. You don't necessarily need me to be in a particular place. Then I'll say, man, listen, I've worked so many years of my life. I want to be in a place where I can go to the beach, go for a run, go for a walk, and just enjoy myself. That I completely understand. But as a young guy, and as somebody that's still hustling now, I'm 33, so no, but I'm not thinking about the weather. Like that's the last thing on my mind. I'm not thinking about, I need to be somewhere where I can see the sunshine. That doesn't matter to me, right? I'm more focused on, okay, you're building your website. How do you get it to 500,000 hits, 1 million hits, 1.5 million hits? How do you guys scale up your platform? How do you grow your channel? That's what I'm focused on, right? And I can do that for the next 10, 15 years. And then when that time comes, then I can start thinking about the weather, because truly, as long as I have money in my pocket and money in my bank account, and I can take care of myself and my family and people that need me, I don't care about all of that. But it's different. These guys are multimillionaires and they're operating from a different place. Things are advanced, right? Money's coming in. You're getting a $200,000 or $1.5 million check every single month, $2 million check every month. Things are a little bit different, right? You don't need to, things can happen on your term. Got the Clippers. Listen, he told the Clippers, I want to come play with you guys. But he put in some contingencies. Number one, he needed for them to go get Paul George. He said he wasn't coming alone. And by him making that demand, he was able to, the Clippers ended up trading away some key pieces and to get Paul George. Now, with him leaving the Toronto Raptors, being home is one thing, and also the fact that they weren't willing to part ways with Pascal Siakam for Paul George. So he was like, I'm up out of here. Went to LA. We all know what happened. Traded away some key pieces, but they got PG. They got him the guy that they wanted. And PG, in all fairness, the first year he was horrendous, but he was injured. Missed a considerable amount of games to start the season. But this year, he's coming back. He's bouncing back. He's having an amazing shooting season. Really the best shooting season that I think he's had in his entire career. However, last year in the playoffs, they came up short, plain and simple. There are no two ways to slice it. You came up short. You didn't come close. You came up short. In reality, it's really black and white. It's either you got it done or you didn't. They didn't. Now, there's so many ways we can kind of break down why they didn't, why they lost, and this, and we can go to coaching, personnel, guys not being coming up, but the overall they failed, right? They failed, simple and plain. And now I'm beginning to see some things that's beginning to worry me about Kawhi Leonard. It's my favorite player, but I just got to call it how I see it. I'm noticing that he's not as clutch as he was when he was with the San Antonio Spurs and the Toronto Raptors that year. Now, Kawhi gets better over time. Usually, great players get better over time to a certain point. Then they start to go down, that start to decline. Usually, that has a lot to do with age, attrition. But in this case, Kawhi's getting better because you're practicing. In the offseason, he's still young. I think he's under 30 years old. And I guess if he's old, he's a young guy. But I'm not seeing that translate into late game performances. Overall, if you look at his overall stats, they're great. But in late game situations, he's not coming up big. Now, some people may say, listen, you're nitpicking, because as poorly as he's been in the clutch this season, the Clippers are only 3.5 games back for having the best record in the NBA. So he's been bad, but really in the grand scheme of things, calm the hell down. That's what somebody could say. Like, just calm down. You're becoming a little bit too emotional. What exactly are you expecting in March, right? And I can understand that there's a school of thought of some people that may say that, and I understand that. However, listen, they got to get it done this year. And by get it done, I mean, listen, the Clippers need to at least make the NBA Finals. You heard me. At least. Not get to the NBA Finals and we had a great... No. You need to at least get to the NBA Finals, because I'm assuming that this team was put together when Baldwin was cashing out those checks. They want to win a title. I don't think they're just trying to get to the conference finals, or they want to win, right? So at the very least, you got to get this team. And by you, I'm talking about Kawhi, meaning leading the way, like he did with the Toronto Raptors. You got to get to the NBA Finals. On his way to the NBA Finals, he beat the number one team in the NBA as far as record, the Milwaukee Bucks. He beat that team to get to the finals. So it's not like as if he hasn't done something like this before. It's not like as if they can't play the Lakers and beat them. It's not like as if they can't play the Utah Jazz and beat them. These are not far-fetched expectations to have for this team, right? They can do it. They have enough to do it. Yes, they may be lacking this, they may be lacking that. You go back to that Toronto team, every team is lacking something. There's no perfect team, right? Even if you look at the Golden State, you think of Draymond Green, the Swiss Army knife, but he couldn't shoot. Draymond Green can't shoot. So there's no perfect team in the NBA. Even if you look at the Kobe and Shaq, they're great, but Shaq can hit for... There's no perfect... You're not going to have the perfect team. You're going to have to make the most of what you have. And especially when you're going to the playoff rounds, guys are getting injured. Guys are playing with injury. Everybody's knocked up and beat up, right? So they at least got to get to the NBA Finals. Now, will the Clippers win the NBA title? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, because I'm not seeing that championship focus and consistency, right? If I saw it, I can say they can do it. I haven't seen it. And that's why all season long, I haven't picked them to win the title. I haven't. Contrary to what some people think, this guy, I never said the Clippers were going to win the title. I still don't think they're going to win the title because I don't know. I'm not doing the fortune telling thing this time around. I don't know, right? You got to show me. Get to the finals, and then we can make a prediction. Get there. Show me at least you can do that, right? And then when we get there, then you can say, okay, now take a line, take a stand. And then once you take a stand, and if you lose, whatever, at least you took a position. But you got to show me at least that you can get there. And listen, Kawhi Leonard should be blamed if they don't get there, unless something unforeseen happens, unless Paul George just completely capitulates and things just go awry, like guys just completely disappear and things just go really poorly. But you got to get it done. You got to get it done. In my opinion, as the best player in the world, you got to get it done. The clutch shooting and all of this not showing up big in the clutch. Listen, I've seen him do it time and time again with the Spurs, with the Raptors. I don't know what's happening now, right? I don't know what's happening now, but you got to get it done. And those are my raw and honest opinions. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you think Kawhi Leonard ought to take the brunt of the blame if the Clippers don't make it to the NBA Finals and win it all? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro. Wishing you guys an amazing day. Catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.